When you wake up in the morning, what gets you out of bed? What is it that makes you so excited that you don't even want to push that snooze alarm for 5 more minutes to dream about that sexy cafeteria worker that you secretly had your eye on? Is there anything that you wanted so bad that you've been afraid to tell your friends because you thought that they might crush your dreams? Is there anything that you wanted more than life itself? The fact is that most of us have had dreams, but unfortunately, our dreams have either died or faded away. And when our dreams die, a part of our heart dies. Jean Dalhu argues that sometimes just having a dream is not enough. He says we dream about where we want to go, but we don't have a map to get there. So the answer is simple. The answer is a goal. A goal is different from a dream because a goal is something that you write down. A goal is bringing your future to the present, and it's dealing with it today. So today I'd like to share with you 3 things that when you set up goals for your life, you'll be given a sense of purpose. You'll be given motivation, and you will often grow along the way. The purpose-driven life was everywhere, and honestly, I got sick of seeing it. I didn't understand what the big deal was. And then I realized that everybody is so hungry to have meaning and purpose in their life. They want to live for something worthwhile. And more than that, they want to die for something worthwhile. People want to make a difference in this world, and I wanted to make a difference. I don't want to be 80 years old looking back and realizing that the only thing that I have to prove for myself is a practice trophy that I received in 6th grade for practicing the piano 2 times a week. When you gain a vision, you gain a sense of purpose. And to gain a sense of purpose and a vision, you have to ask yourself questions. What do I want? Where do I want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? In Dare to Succeed, it says, if you can't see the mark, you can't move towards it. I'm all too familiar with this. Last week I sat in Barnes & Noble's devastated because I wanted to change my major again. I sat down there with 10 self-help books about my career and 2 cups of coffee, determined that I was going to figure out what it was that I was going to do because I was devastated without having a purpose in my life. Helen Keller said, many people have the wrong idea of what constitutes happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but it is through fidelity to a worthy cause. When you have purpose, you have motivation. And motivation is a key component to success. When you see what you want, you're less likely to fall down. But when you do fall down, you're much more likely to get back up. When you have motivation, it gives you the power of focus. And when you have the power of focus, you can get things done more efficiently. Focus your thinking gave an example of taking a stack of newspapers, setting it outside, lining it up with the sun's rays and a magnifying glass. Nothing will happen if you move it, that is. But if you hold it steady, those papers will explode with flames. I love the saying, enjoy the journey and not just the outcome. And often, along your way, it becomes more important who you become. We are told 3 things in life. 1, that we will fail. 2, that we will fail. And 3, that we can fail. This can be quite devastating. Last night, I talked with my friend about how much I didn't want to give this speech today. And he just looked at me and he's like, well, why? And I said, well, because I'm afraid that I'm going to stumble all over my words and I'm going to shake so bad they're going to have to call in light medical to come and carry me away. And then he just asked me, well, what's a mistake really? And I'm like, well, what do you mean, what is a mistake? And then when I started thinking about it, I realized that all my life, I've been so afraid that I'm just going to be found out, that people are going to discover that I'm less than who I portray to be. And I have this theory that we're all secretly afraid of the same thing. We're afraid of being found out, that we're just pretending. So I think we need to realize that the only thing that people are going to find out is that the scars really are real, that we are who we say that we are. So the only mistake that we can make is simply never trying in the first place. I remember in high school, I tried out for the soccer team. I made the team, but I was definitely the worst player in the field. I knew this, and my other teammates knew this as well. So I talked to my coach, and I told him that I wanted to quit, and he gave me one of the most inspirational talks that I've ever heard. But I decided to quit anyways. So I realized that day I failed. It wasn't when I kicked the same girl in the head 10 times with a soccer ball. It was the moment that I decided to give up. So you don't need to be guaranteed not to mess up in life because much is achieved by simply headed in the right direction. So when you set goals for your life, you're giving yourself a sense of purpose. You're giving yourself motivation, and you will grow along the way. So life is too short to worry about what you could have done, what you should have done, and what you would have done if only you had ran after your true heart's desires. So I encourage you, don't let these moments slip away in complacency, but instead decide to climb towards the top of the mountain, because I promise there's room up there.
Thank you, Nicole.